Hi baby angels, it's BB. Welcome back to my channel. I am a newer tarot tuber and I'm catching up on some really fun hashtags. So I am going to do cliche tarot reader hashtag by Anna at Astral Lady Tarot. Let's jump in. The first question is, do you have more than one version of a deck? And I do. I have more than one version of the Stunning Tarot. This is the first version, and this is the second version or edition, however you like to describe it. This is what they look like. The coloration is different. I think a couple of the cards are different. Obviously the sizing and the backs. Very cute. So the pinks, which were magentas before, are now this soft rose color. More of the soft purple. They're very similar, but you have more of like this rather than, let's see, where's a cup? So, you know, 8 of Cups being this magenta very close to the red before. I think Judgment before was purple. I think we passed it. So yeah, just some interesting takes. I like the use of, yeah, wasn't the 10 of Cups in here? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, well, I'm not gonna go through it, but I feel like there are different uses for like the sizing, especially too. So I don't know, I just adore Yonasa Yause's artwork. I love that she does different versions of the same decks, and she changes them each time, so it appeals to maybe different people. This one is one that's very similar, but even just the sizing, she changes up the sizing in other decks of hers too, and like the proportions, you know. But yes, I do plan on getting the 3rd edition too, because I just think they're great. And I like the differences she made. And there's a couple of cards where the art is completely different, but I can't remember offhand which ones. So the other deck that I own more than one version of is the Ethereal Visions. I have the Illuminated and the Luna. I've talked about this in a couple different videos, so I'm not going to get into it. But yeah, check out my decks that are leaving my collection, and also check out my tarot collection videos. I tried getting rid of this. It was not sold, so I'm just allowing it to sit and be in my space. And there are things that I truly do love about it. And I did feel like I was nervous. You know, I had some reservations about selling it, and so I guess for good reason. It's here, and I will, you know, utilize it. I'd love to get the Oracle of that artist, Matt Hughes, too. Okay, so the last couple are the Victorian Romantic and the Fantastic Menagerie. I had the 3rd edition of this before, and the 1st edition of this one before, and I have since sold them because I didn't want to keep 2 versions of each. I had 2 versions of this one for a long time, and I've just recently sold it. But this is good for me. I'd love the large edition of the Victorian Romantic because I love the Mermaid Lovers card, and it's only in that version, but it's not online anymore. So one day, if it comes to me, the opportunity comes knocking, I might open the door. These are 2 of my favorite decks of all time, and ones that I've had different versions trying to keep up with the newest ones and the best ones. I do really like overall those versions better than the original ones that I had. So the second question is, do you own any backup decks? And the answer is no, but I have been tempted or thought about getting backup decks for certain ones, and I can't even remember at this point which ones they were, but yeah, I guess not important enough for me to purchase them. Do I have any tarot tattoos? I do not have any tarot tattoos, but I do have a dagger on like the back of my ankle. Back then I thought, you know, that it was kind of Juliet related, and I think that's still true. However, now it kind of holds more of a meaning, that I am an air sign, and air signs are represented by the swords, and I kind of like that it fits. I didn't really think about that before. I also have a bow and arrow. I don't know offhand if there's any bow and arrow imagery in tarot. Let me know. Comment below if you have a deck that has a good bow and arrow moment. Mine was like a Cupid's bow. I also have, this is gonna be upside down, but I have this little baby here. He looks like, is it even in focus? Hello? There we go. His name is Leif, and he looks like a cherub, but he's more of, you know, the putti in Renaissance art. It's like Italian Renaissance art where they had these little cherub-like beings that represented beauty and passion and kind of interfered in human lives, and were very mischievous and cute. Think of Fantasia. That's kind of what Leif is. So I think those are my only tattoos that could be associated with tarot, but they're definitely on accident. Let's see. Number 4, do I drink tea? I do drink tea, but usually just at Asian restaurants. Like a beautiful jasmine tea, or if a friend of mine is making tea or something, I'll have some. My brother's girlfriend does like tea ceremonies, and my brother's getting into tea a lot, and so I'm learning from them and I enjoy it, but more on a smaller scale. I'm not someone who, you know, regularly has a cup of tea. I really am into lattes. This is not cute, but this is my neighborhood latte that I get every morning, or every other morning, because I try to only drink a half of one a day. My regular order is a vanilla oat latte iced. It's delicious. They use heart coffee. I had never heard of that before, but I really enjoy it. Okay, what's next? Do I own crystals? I do. Here's a few up here, top. And then I don't know where I had gotten all of these, but like somehow over the course of my life, I have like these little weird ones. I don't know a ton about crystals. I love how crystals look. I love their energy. I did when I was a kid too. I remember being gifted crystals when I was a kid, and stones, by a kind of witchy friend of my mom's, and she gave me this leather pouch. I was probably like 8 years old. I've had it ever since. It has like stars and spirals. It's so cute. It's kind of beaten up now, but I've had it for a really, really long time. Oh, I should have worn this to the Renaissance Festival. I just went recently. Her name was Judy, and she gave me little stones. I don't know where I got the Laughing Buddha. This one is one of my favorites because it looks to me, let me get above my camera so you can see. She looks like a little dancer. Like, see her foot here, and like her dress in the wind, and then maybe her head tilted back like towards the, I don't know. I always saw a dancer in that one. So, okay, so here's how I feel about crystals. I don't use them in my practice. These ones are not like my fave. Are they pretty? Definitely. But oh, I always liked this one too, like because it looked like marbly and like the colors pink and black and cream. This is still very on brand for me. I am interested in crystals like that are as big as my fist or bigger. Like I want to use crystals and their energy and their serenity and their power, which I definitely believe in, like in my spaces. So yeah, the little ones like are trinkets and they're great and they're fun, but like they don't necessarily do it for me. This one I always thought this one was a tooth because it was shaped like a tooth. Obviously it's not a tooth. Great coloring though. Has like a, even though it has like a crack all the way through. And then this is like straight up turquoise. My grandparents, when I was a kid, lived in Spring Valley Lake, which is like a golf course community in Apple Valley. And there was a Native American trading post there, and we used to go. And I remember my grandma getting me a turquoise ring that I wear almost every day. This is not crystals, but I'm gonna be talking about it. Let me grab it really quickly. So that's the little ring that my grandma got me. It was either hers and she gave it to me, but then I told my dad about it and he didn't remember, and he was like, I feel like I would know. And so then I thought about it and I was like, well, maybe she got it like at the trading post for me, which would make a lot of sense. So yeah, that's how I feel about crystals. I would love to, I just like the bigger ones. I like the bigger impact of them. And I really understand like energetically, like I don't know, I just feel that they're really, like I said, powerful. And I'd like to use them in my interior design. Do I have any? No, because they're hundreds of dollars, but maybe that's something I'll invest in the future. Do I own tarot books? So I set aside a bunch of tarot books. I'll just, I guess, flash them. I'll just kind of show you. The court cards are notoriously kind of difficult, and I don't know if that's everyone, but for me they were. Especially the queens versus the kings. Like I feel like the pages and the knights were easier. Yeah, so I bought this and I have gone through some of it and it's really, really useful. I'm a Gemini, so I hop around like all the time. I can't just like read one book all the way through. My favorite tarot book is WTF is Tarot and How Do I Do It by Bakara Wintner. She's the owner of Everyday Magic. She has an oracle deck. She has a tarot deck. I don't own either of them, but this book is amazing. The intro made me cry. I would recommend it to anyone. She's poignant and powerful and piercing and relatable, and relatable, I guess, to me. Like she's young. She's younger than I am, but I guess she feels like of the same generation or a similar generation, and at the same time feels so connected to the core of what tarot has been and the tapestry of like its history. And I don't know, if you're starting out with anything, like this is, in my opinion, the way to do it. I also have Tarot for Yourself by Mary Kay Greer. This is a great one. It's a workbook. It has lots of things to do. I really enjoy this, but I can't do a ton at one time. I feel like I just kind of dip my toe in, put it aside, and then come back to it when I'm ready. Tarot on Earth is my kind of guide to Marseille, along with, I also have The Way of the Tarot by Jodorowsky, the guy who did The Holy Mountain and almost did Dune, if you've seen his documentary, which is wild. that book is in my cabinet, so it's not here, but I feel like between the Way of the Tarot and Tarot on Earth, that's kind of my everything I need to learn Marseille, and also just to learn more about numerology in tarot and how to read tarot on a deeper, more practical level. Admittedly, I have not read much of this at all, but it's here, and I'm glad it's here, and I'm glad I supported Tom Benjamin, who has a great channel. Another tarot deck I have is the Modern Tarot. This has been pretty fun. I read like a couple of the cards before bed every now and then. And then I think my most fun one is a vintage, The Sexual Key to the Tarot, Secrets of the Tarot Reveal Your Sexual Future. I'm only laughing because it says future, not because it says sexual, by Theodore Lawrence. And I just had to have this. I mean, just look at this cover and the font, and like, I'm the Lover's card anyway, so this is just super fun. I need to remember to pull this out when I'm doing readings for people, because this is super fun. So that's kind of most of my tarot books, apart from any, separate guidebooks, which I have a million of those too. All right, so the next question is, do you have a tarot journal? And I would say, no, I do not. But this is kind of close to what a tarot journal would be, because every reading that you do, you're kind of taking annotation and analyzing things in it. So this kind of helps give me structure as far as a tarot journal. I'm not very good at journaling to begin with, and I'm trying to get better at it. But and then you add like the extra element of tarot to it, and then it's too much. A lot of times I'm doing tarot for other people and not for myself, because I don't like the conclusions that I come to. I don't trust necessarily what I'm doing. I feel like I just come to answers very quickly. Like, oh, this is this, and this is what you need to do, and this is what it means. And I don't really slow down and kind of sink into it. And so to tarot journal on my own seems very, very intimidating. So this is really fun and helpful. Do I like to shuffle? Yeah, I mean, shuffling's cool. I don't have a big opinion about it. I learned how to bridge shuffle when I was a kid. Oh yeah, this is a very stiff deck, so it's not very fun. Am I gonna be able to bridge it? Barely. I don't usually shuffle like that though. I usually shuffle hand over hand. I kind of associate riffle shuffling to like card games, which I love playing card games, and I will riffle shuffle all day for those. But yeah, shuffling just feels like some mundane thing that I do. It doesn't really feel cathartic or therapeutic or meditative like I've seen other people talk about experiencing. Wow, this is a great reading. Yes, so that's shuffling. Do I have fairy lights? No, I don't have fairy lights, but I do like lighting, and it's very important to me. I have some really beautiful lamps that I inherited from my grandparents, and maybe I'll insert a picture if I can. But they're beautiful. They're like maybe 1.5 feet tall, and they have black shades, and then they have like little pharaoh structures. I can't even explain it. They're so beautiful. They're kind of beat up because whoever took them after my grandparents passed away, didn't do a very good job of handling them. But they're beautiful, and I'm very into like mood lighting and not overhead lighting. I also have like one of those like those circular lights that one of them is like orange, and they do kind of like a sunsetty look, and the one that I have is blue. I guess I can enter a picture too of that because I've taken a picture of the light in that. And then I have this one, which is just red lights, and they're like sparkly, starry, and then as you twist this, they kind of move around. So yes, I am a fan of mood lighting. I'm a fan of LED lighting. I'm just not really a fan of the aesthetic of like a twinkly light. Do I like a twinkly light if I'm outside at night and I'm like, you know, vibing or having a party, or just like, do I want twinkly lights outside? Yes, I do. But do I want them inside? Not unless it's like Christmas or Halloween or something, you know? I don't know. It's not really, like maybe in the winter season, but I don't really like it as a part of my decor because I think that there's this youth to it and this whimsy, and like whimsy and youth aren't really a part of like my decor style. Okay, candles. Moving on to the next form of lighting that I love. I do have candles. I love candles. I'm going to show you some candles. It's going to be kind of awkward. This is one that I keep in my living room. It's just from Target, just from Target Boutique. I use it a lot. It's elegant, wonderful, not too overpowering. So that's one. It sits on a little stool, like a little wooden stool on top of my credenza in my living room. There's this one, which I love. It's kind of beat up, but I got it also at Target Boutique. I put my taper candles in here and I keep it on my dining room table. And this one was like $20, and like a shinier, more brassy version of this is on CB2 right now for like $125 or something. So, you know, am I saying I'm a tastemaker? Maybe. I also used to really love tea lights. I used to keep this in my bedroom. It doesn't really have a place right now, so it looks kind of dusty because it's been in my closet, but it's tree bark made into a little tea light holder. Is that not the cutest thing? And it's from Finland. I got it in Finland at the little seaside market at the port when I went on a cruise through the Baltic in my early 20s. And then the last candle I have to share, oh no, this is second to last, is this wonderfully, it smells like cherry. It smells like the car freshener, the cherry scented car freshener that like you hang off of your rearview mirror. And this is by a local artist, and I got it at a booth in Costa Mesa at a Landers event, which if none of those words make sense to you, then disregard. But I really liked the can, the repurposed can, and the scent is amazing. I keep this in my bedroom. Okay, and then my favorite candle, which I don't really use this one because it's almost gone, which is silly, is Crisp Champagne by Voluspa, which is a local candle company, and they sell it at Nordstrom, and many like independent boutiques sell Voluspa. I don't see Crisp Champagne a lot at the independent boutiques because they do, I think, a lot of like the seasonal scents like in fragrances. But it's so good. I'm really picky about candle scents. I don't like too much of artificial smelling scents. And if they are, I guess I want them to smell like a car. I don't know. Okay, and so the last question is, do I have a designated spot where I practice, where I read, like, you know, like an altar or something? And I must say, I really wish I did. Like, I'd love to have an altar. I'd love to keep out certain things and like monthly have, you know, XYZ, right? Of what I'm focusing on, of what energy I want to embody. But sadly, I don't really feel like there's a place in my house right now that can do that for me. Like, I don't have a lot of, I don't know, I do have space, but it just doesn't feel like I have a lot of space for that specifically. Or let me rephrase. No space in my home feels like the right place for it. You know, all of the surfaces that I have a function. And then I don't have any like extra pieces of furniture that could like be in the right place to serve that purpose. I do have, like, I don't have bedside tables, but on the right side of my bed is my deck cabinet. It's a clear, like, 6-foot tall cabinet that I keep all my decks in, and then I do keep some books in as well. And it's beautiful, but I do not have a bedside table or a cabinet, like a, what are they called? What are the little bedside tables that have the drawers? I'm gonna Google it. I'm like, what is wrong with me? So I don't have one of those. And then on the left side, I have a lamp, like a nightstand. Yeah, I'm thinking nightstand. I don't have a nightstand. On the left of my bed, I have a floor lamp, which is really beautiful, and then kind of some empty space that's taken up by like a guitar case and then like a guitar and things like that. I don't play guitar, but my friend does, and he keeps some of his guitars here. So I'm thinking maybe I could make an altar on the left side of my bed, but like I said, I don't have a table that I would want to do that with. This is like, what I'm using here is actually like a breakfast tray, like a breakfast in bed tray that I use to do this every time, or I use it in the living room if I want to sit on the floor and watch TV and like eat something. I also like to keep my bedroom as minimal as possible, and I'm not like a minimalist, but I don't like clutter. So yeah, it's just difficult. I wish if I had an office, I think I'd put an altar in my office, or, you know, a designated tarot space, but as of right now, that's not the case, and it bums me out. But I'd love to see your altars. I'd love to see your designated tarot spaces. I have an idea of what I would want it to look like too. I think I need a dark wood, like a vintage dark wood type of situation. So maybe I'll thrift. Maybe just this side of my room will turn into that, and I'll just keep it really minimal. So we'll see. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being curious. Thanks for being my friend. My mom's coming. I gotta go.